Good morning and Jai Hind, dear students. So, today we are here with your module number 1 for the chapter Green Notes written by Ruskin Bond. This chapter is basically not a story, as you all might have studied that Ruskin Bond writes very beautiful and simple stories, and he emphasizes nature a lot. So, this chapter is not basically a story but a kind of notes which are taken from his book, The Book of Nature. It's kind of an excerpt. Okay, so we'll understand what is the writing, what is the meaning of writing such kind of matter in a book. Okay, so let's start. Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond was born on 19th May 1934. He is an Indian author of British descent. He has got many awards in the role of growth of children's literature in India. He was awarded the Sahitya Academy Award in 1992. He was awarded with Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan for the contributions to children's literature. He recently lives in Landover near Missouri. So this was all about your author. Now we'll read what has been written. You find love when you least expect to and lose it when you are sure that it is in your grasp. So what he says that you will find loving things when you expect a very little. So in this chapter basically you will understand that how he has shown his simpler things which made him to love it. Okay, so a small general introduction. Nature is benign and bountiful. Mankind has only nature to thank for its life on earth, yet man has not been very grateful for all the bounty that nature has bestowed upon him. In the name of development, man has steadily moved towards destroying nature. So, today we are going to study this excerpt from the compilation titled The Book of Nature, written by Ruskin Bond. This, as the title suggests itself, this book is about nature and wildlife. But here in this chapter, you will understand how author narrates his personal experiences and his own perceptions of nature seen in the hill stations where he lived. He also talks about what development did to the surroundings in which he lived. So, this was all about the author and the introduction of the chapter. The the greatness of Ruskin Bond as a writer lies in the fact that he handles apparently simple subjects that make profound impact on the readers, leaving food for the thoughts that need to be remembered again and again and brought it. Not for nothing he is aptly dubbed as India's most loved writer, because he tries to relate India, he tries to relate our surrounding with us. So look students, in this chapter actually you will find that there no particular order has been followed, no particular order regarding the subjects is maintained in the book, and that only enhances its beauty and total effects. These are the randomly made notes of illuminating thoughts in the author's mind, from the enduring fragrance of the little pleasures to the teachings of marigold, daisy, cosmos, petunia. These are the names of flowers. okay, and so many other objects that we easily find in the lap of benign nature, Ruskin Bond has deftly woven a magical world in the work which is simply remarkable. As he puts succinctly in its introduction, for all the hardships and complications, life is very simple. And if you look upon the world with love, then really it is beautiful. So, well, in this age of growing materialism, you know now that we are facing many environmental issues. So, he says that in this age of growing materialism, where intolerance is a despicable byproduct, he has written a book. Here he has written his small conversations, small pleasures to be read by the people of all ages and think ki, yes, our world is beautiful, our surrounding is beautiful, and how we should keep it beautiful. So in this whole chapter, the green notes, it's a kind of a notes written by Ruskin Bond, as I already told you, but this are taken from his book, The Book of Nature. So here in this chapter, your two main points will be covered. First one is simple pleasures, and the second one is the old conversations. Yes, simple pleasures. Bond found simple pleasures in many simple things. He found happiness in simple things like gazing down the road. And his one of the simple pleasures of life can be like, he says, like watering the plants, browsing some old books, and he also says that listening of cooing of doves and pigeons. He even notices the blue jays like rollers in the flight. He then he says to himself that if I talk about my home, if I talk about my surrounding, then he says that I love to watch the sun come up from my bed near the window. He also talks about walking barefoot over drenched grasses. So these are the very simple things which he has mentioned in that book, and these were as the green notes which were taken from that book and we are studying now. And he even noticed that peeling an orange can also bring some happiness. He has written this point. So these all were the simple pleasures which he mentioned, like raining outside. So these all were the things. Now second is the old conversations. So here basically he covers like what were the movements of humans, what were the movements of development which brought means a hazard to this nature. He talks about the Doon Valley, which was well forested, but due to some efforts, it is now not that prevalent like it was earlier. So he speaks up like he had conversation, he had read the journal of Mr. O'Callaghan, the deputy conservator of forest. So he used to wrote whom all people he had a conversation with and what were the steps taken. Like he spoke about the restrictions which were imposed. He also encouraged replanting and foster new generations of trees. He talked about the people of Shishal being affected with smallpox. He also talked about the deodar trees, maple wood, which have completely disappeared now. He also wrote in his journal about felling off most of the trees, like you say na, deforestation. He's talking about deforestation. And what is the beauty, students, in between the whole serious things, he tries to infuse a very relevant or very catchy point, like saying, "Arey, one of my neighbor Prem's little son, Rakesh, he loved to grow up with the trees growing up, green leaves of summer turning to spears." So these all were the things which were mentioned. And he also says that he'll miss the young deodar, oaks, which covered the shaggy branches. He also said that what he did, he used to cut the overhang branches so that the deodar could grow more faster. He also talks about his younger brother who got died in an accident because of the development, है ना, because of the Delhi, near the Delhi area. So who is that brother? That brother is the tree. So he is saying that these trees which were killed by PWD, you know now what is the role of PWD? Who looks after development? So what they did, they cut down many trees to make development more faster. They tried to build something, they tried to make new buildings, they tried to make new roads. So to make this road, making a road, what happened, they killed down many trees. He also said something about oaks, near his cottage, maples, pines, which most of them unnecessarily grow some 60 yards from the roadside. Now he says that the Rakesh calls maples as butterfly. He also says that now no red leaves, no maples are there, no bright red leaves to flame against the sky, no birds near the house. And he's saying that it is not possible for me to open the window and watch the scarlet minivets flitting through the dark green foliage or the oak tree. He also says that forest birds are also now a dream. And what he says that now the only visitors which will be left are crows and humans, which will multiply, who will multiply along the roads, houses and people. And he also says that yes, some more thing will be there, like trucks thundering past in the night. And he also says that perhaps a tea and a pakoda shop around the corner. So the music of motor horns. He speaks about the explosions, about the silence of mountains. These explosions, what they do, they continuously shatter the silence of the mountains. He also says that somehow I don't think we shall wait for the tea shop to arrive, and we'll start to develop more and more. We'll build buildings and all that. But he says that there must be some quiet corner where there will be mountain and roads have yet to come there. So he is not showing a negative attitude, but he's saying that we will really miss the retreat which we are facing, or not facing, which we were celebrating. And at last, in this whole chapter, at last he covers up the whole aspect and tries to write a quotation bringing up the whole idea into one sentence. And that sentence is, never mind, men come and go, but the mountains remain. So what he is saying, that men, this kind of men who are spreading destruction and creating unhappenings, but there are still that mountains who are still, that means these men will come and go. They are having a perfect span of life, but these mountain doesn't have any span, so they can live here for forever. So this is what the Ruskin Bond thinks about life, about nature, about his surrounding. So these were the simple points. He basically tried to cover the simple pleasures, the small things which brought pleasure on him, and the old conversations, like he did to himself. He spoke to someone, or he read some journal, or he wrote some journal. So these all were the conversations which he had, and now which we are facing, like the man who is destructing and for in the name of development. So basically the author's idea is to bring an attention so that we stop doing this false practice and try to focus more on planting and encouraging others to replant more trees. Yes, development can be there, but along with development, the plantation of trees could be done. If 100 trees are cut, then we should be having an oath to plant 1,000 trees. So I'll rest my words here only. It was nice meeting you. Thank you. Have a good day. Please have a read of this story from your textbook. If anyone who doesn't have textbook, then please try to revert me back. Okay? So that I can provide you. Thank you, students. Bye bye.